Hello everyone, welcome into Fatty's Feast, where we make the best food you'll ever eat without leaving your backyard. My name is Josh. Today I am super excited to be showing you this amazing barbecue machine behind me. This is an offset smoker made by Patriot Pits. We're gonna be going through the ins and outs and ups and downs of this smoker. I'm gonna walk you through the whole thing, and we're gonna see if this smoker might be the right one for you to up your barbecue game. Let's get started. Okay, I have one disclaimer before we start talking about this smoker. If you are somebody that's just getting into using an offset smoker, maybe you're just getting into barbecue altogether, or maybe you've been using a Kamado Joe or a pellet smoker or a propane smoker, this smoker is not going to probably be the right one for you. And I'm not saying that because it's too advanced for you or you're not gonna get it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that because this thing is going to set you back a few $1,000s. And if you've never used an offset smoker before, you're gonna be in for a little bit of a ride. Offset smoking is an art, it's a lifestyle. It takes a crazy person to sit outside for 16 hours smoking a brisket in the middle of winter, summer, fall, whatever. So if you're just used to setting something and forgetting it and going in and watching football, you're gonna want to see if offset smoking is actually something you wanna get into. So before you go out and drop a few $1,000s on a smoker, not even knowing if you're going to like it, I would definitely recommend checking out this video here. This is where I review my Old Country Brazos smoker. This is in all of my videos. The Old Country Brazos are your lower end backyard smokers, but I think for the money, it's the best bang for your buck. My Brazos, I think, costs about $1,100 now. You can even spend down. You can go like $500 and get a Pecos model. Those work just as well. That way, if you do a few cooks and you go, I don't know if this is for me, it's not that big of a deal. Also, another note, don't go buy an Oklahoma Joe if you're just starting out. Those things are trash. You have to assemble them. Get an Old Country model or a model of some smoker that's one piece delivered that you don't have to put together, that has good welds and can really give you that good experience without driving you nuts. Because if you start on something that you have to put together yourself, you're gonna have leaking smoke, you're gonna have temperature swings. It's just gonna be a complete pain in the butt. And I know some of you are gonna say, well, I use an Oklahoma Joe. That's fine. I'm just saying, they're more of a pain in the ass to run than something like a Brazos. But enough about that. If you're one of those people that is looking to up your smoking game to the next level, maybe you've been on a Brazos and you want to take it up a notch, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video because you are going to be blown away with this smoker. Now this beauty behind me is the Patriot Pits Freedom 94, 94 meaning 94 gallons in your cooking chamber. Now to give you a little bit of background about how this beast ended up in my driveway, back in August, a gentleman named Dan reached out to me on Instagram. He found my channel and found out that I was in Connecticut, which is great because there's not many barbecue enthusiasts here in Connecticut. So we started talking and he said, hey, I have this smoker I want you to borrow over the winter months, put it through its paces, let me know what you think about it. And I said, absolutely, I'd love to borrow that and see what I can do on it. Now, his best friend, Jason, is the man that runs Patriot Pits based in Sandisfield, Massachusetts, which is in Berkshire County, which first of all is very neat because we don't have any smoker manufacturers up here, as far as I know. So having someone who makes this kind of work right up the street is really, really cool. And even though they're a Massachusetts-based company, they do ship to all lower 48 states. Now, if you've done any bit of research about backyard smokers or upgrading your backyard smoker, you've definitely come across other companies, the Fat Stack, you got your Franklin, you got your Workhorse, you got all sorts of different people out there. But I think by the end of this video, you're going to see why I think this is one of the best backyard smokers on the market. And I'm not gonna sit here and bash other smoker companies. I think this quality will speak for itself. And one more thing before we dive deep into this thing, I am not getting any kind of monetary value from showing you guys this smoker and cooking on it. I'm just here for entertainment purposes and education purposes. I am beyond excited to use this thing because I think it's going to exceed my expectations, honestly. So that way you know anything I'm saying in these videos is my honest opinion. And another thing, if you at any point are interested in one of these smokers, if you go on their website or on their Instagram, which I'll put in the description, use the code FATTIES or say Fatty sent you or whatever, you're gonna receive 2 free gifts with your smoker order. You're gonna get an amazing, beautiful charcoal chimney. I'm not talking about your, crappy Weber ones that rust because it was hot out or something. These things are handmade, they're beautiful. You're gonna wanna check those out. And you're also going to get a Firebox tool. As I go through this smoker today, I'm gonna be talking about optional add-ons and stuff like that. I don't have pictures of this stuff, so if you go on their Instagram, you can see a bunch of different add-ons and things that we talk about today, and you can see the different options you can get. So currently the Freedom 94 model is the main model they make. However, Jason is very flexible. He's into doing whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe you want to put this on a trailer, maybe you want some kind of other attachment on here. If you reach out to him, he can talk to you about your options and he can do that for you. So he's very open to change. It's just that this company is somewhat newer and it's just him, so they only make this model. And that's another thing that sets this company apart is it's just Jason. It's just him making these smokers all by hand. He's a master craftsman, and you're gonna see that as we walk through this thing. So there's no assembly line, there's none of that. It's just him doing what he loves to do. Now this entire smoker is made with 3/8 inch thick steel. Yeah, you heard me, 3/8. My Brazos is 1/4 inch, and that's pretty much the standard. I don't know of anyone out there that makes a smoker that's 100% 3/8 inch thick steel. So I can only imagine how well this thing is going to retain heat and perform in the winter time, especially here where it gets brutal in New England. Now this model behind me does have some custom modifications to it, and I'm gonna point those out as we go through this today. But just so you know, the base model of this smoker costs $3,700 currently, which you might think that's a lot of money. But if you look at what else is on the market for that price point, if not even more than that, I think you're gonna say, wow, you're getting a really, really good value if you get one of these things. And once again, if you go to their Instagram, you can see all those customizations. They have the base model up there. I'm gonna talk about all that so you'll know exactly what you're getting if you decide to go with the strict base model. And I've looked at the pricing for all of the add-ons and stuff. They're really not that bad. Now, if you're gonna order one of these and need it shipped, shipping costs are going to vary. They work with a bunch of different shipping companies to try to get the best deal for their customers, but really shipping costs vary all the time depending on the modifications, depending on the weight. There's all different factors that go into it, so I can't sit here and tell you an exact number or how much it's going to be at the max or minimum or whatever. So that's just something you'll have to work out with Jason if you decide to order one of these smokers. So let's start the complete walkthrough of this thing. I'm gonna start down with the firebox and we'll work our way across. Okay, the firebox. Now, first of all, this is a large firebox. This is something you'd see on a 500-gallon smoker. This thing is beefy. Right up here, you're gonna have the Freedom 94 logo. That comes standard on every one. But one customization I wanna point out is up here in this free real estate space. He makes this amazing American flag that says Made in America, and you can get that on here for an additional cost. I think it looks sick, to be honest, but some people like it, some people don't. So it's an option you can put up here just to fill up this space. First, let's talk about this door. You got your handle here. It opens up. This door is extremely heavy. It probably weighs about 50 pounds. So what's nice about that is if you have this going when it's a little bit windy, it's not gonna be whipping and closing or opening or shutting or anything like that. So it's gonna stay wherever you put it. Now, if I bring you in for a close-up here, here's the inside of the firebox. What I really like is this V pattern where the insulated firebox base is. That comes standard. So all your coals are gonna go to the bottom. You're gonna have an amazing coal bed down here. Like I said, it's insulated, so it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna go out. And then what's also really nice, which is a little difficult to see with the lighting, but this is flush right here, all double welded. So you can easily just take your coals out of here when you're done. This is something I have not seen on any other smoker model out there. Usually it's just flush at the bottom or flat. Now, as far as vents go, you don't see any. There's none on the side. This is what he did. So you have 4 options here. Completely shut. You can open it a third of the way. That's if you have some temperature spikes. Maybe you want to close it off a little bit, get those temps down. Here's 2/3 of the way. That's where you're going to be running this bad boy most of the time. That gives you some really good intake. And then you have it completely open and you can do whatever you want to do. I want to showcase that steel off here. This thing is beefy as hell. And then if you close this off, you're going to suffocate that fire. It's going to go out pretty quickly. Look at that weld job. Those are some nice beads. Holy shit. And another thing too is this is all 3/8. I know I said that, but I can't stress that enough. They're not capping this off with 1/4 inch steel, okay? 3/8, 3/8. Coming up here, 3/8. 3/8. Everything's 3/8, which a lot of people don't do. A lot of times you see manufacturers taking the cheap route and using 1/4 inch steel right here, or even 1/4 inch steel on the door. They don't do that. And look at this hinge on this door, all CNC'd out. Gorgeous hinge. That ain't going anywhere. Now, as we come up here, you have not one, but 2 tell-true thermometers. Those are the best in the business. You can't get any better than that, and those come standard. And then if I go to the side here, you have a port for your Thermapen or whatever kind of thermometer you want to use in there. You can easily just stick it right through the hole. Coming back up here, we have the Sin Wagon name. Now this is Dan's smoker. Like I said, this is what he named his smoker. This is an add-on, so you can get a custom name on here. As long as it fits, it ships. So you can do whatever you want on here. However, there's one disclaimer with that. He will not reuse a name. So if someone's already used a name, like the Sin Wagon, that's Dan's smoker, that's his baby. You ain't gonna take another Sin Wagon and put it out on the market. So as long as it's something unique to you, you'll never see another one out there. It'll be yours forever. I wanna show you these welds again. Gorgeous welds. Look at this craftsmanship, amazing. And then you got your handle here. It looks gorgeous, once again, all CNC'd out. Now I'm gonna open this up in a second, but one thing you're probably gonna wanna consider with the thickness of the steel and the heaviness of this door is a counterbalance. That's also an add-on. The counterbalances he makes, you're gonna wanna check those out because they don't look stupid like some of the ones on the market. You know how counterbalances are usually ugly and they come up and they're just like hanging off this thing and they just don't look right? What Jason does is he makes it part of the handle. It literally is a continuous part. He welds it right on and it comes right up, and you can also put some wording on there if you want. It looks beautiful, and you're definitely going to want to look into one of those unless you want to dislocate your shoulder opening this door. He did a really good job with it, making it a unique design, unlike some of the other companies out there. Now, if you've been watching me for any amount of time and have seen the food I cook, you know I am not the definition of health, and I do not work out. However, I think even if you do work out, you're not going to want to open this door with one hand. This thing is heavy. If I pull on it right now, I mean, that's like, I can already feel it's gonna dislocate my shoulder. I can get it to about here, and that's struggling. So you're gonna wanna use 2 hands to get this thing up. It's beefy. As we look inside the cooking chamber, let's start out at the top. You have this removable top shelf. This is also an add-on. You don't have to get that if you don't want it, but something very unique he did with the bottom cooking grate. As you can see, there's a split right here, and this is standard. This comes right out. Okay, so you can take that out, and then what you can do is move this cooking grate back and forth, okay? So if I zoom out here, if you have a brisket, maybe you want it right here, just a little closer to the firebox. If you want to cool it down a little bit, you can move this whole piece back. That way you don't actually have to pick your brisket up using your hands and ruining the bark or anything. You can just move it as you see fit, and that's great for other types of foods too. If you want to get them a little hotter or closer to, you know, after you sauce or building up some more bark, you can do that. But this is really, really neat. I've never seen that on another smoker either. And then, as you can see, there's a little bit of a baffle plate there. That's just to prevent the heat from going right up. It's not like my Brazos, which was useless. I hate that stupid thing. This one's gonna work out just fine. Now, one thing I wanna show you guys that is super impressive. I have never seen this before. If I close this door, I'm gonna bring you in close here. I just have the standard sheet of paper. It fits in the crack, but it won't go any further where the metal is, okay? Now, if I try with this with an envelope even, I can't really get that in at all. And this is all the way around. Got a little bit of give up top, but right here, can't get it in. That paper is not going past where the door closes on the inside. And I'll tell you right now, like, look over here. I can't even get it in on this side. Oh, there it goes. But, I mean, that's the level of craftsmanship we're talking about. You're not gonna get this on even some very expensive models of smokers. Like, that's insane. That's how tight these doors are. That's how much heat you're going to retain. You're not gonna get leaking smoke. This is absolutely amazing to me. So that just speaks for itself. That's no modifications. There's nothing special about this smoker compared to the other ones he's making. He didn't make this door tighter. This is the kind of craftsmanship he's putting into these smokers. So you're not going to need to modify this thing with grill gasket or silicone or anything like that, like I had to do with my Brazos, to make it contain heat, contain smoke, and all that good stuff. It's gonna come like that, and that blows my freaking mind. As we work our way toward the bottom, you have this fold out shelf. This comes in either expanded metal or steel. You can take your pick, but this is another add-on. Now, one thing that might freak some people out is there's only one arm on this thing. So you might be saying, well, that's probably a little weak. If I push down on this thing, I could sit on this goddamn thing. I don't want to do that because it's not my smoker, but I could literally probably sit on here with my fat ass and it's not going anywhere. It's not budging. This thing can hold a shit ton of weight. So the one arm design is great for this. It's not even really giving on this side that much. And then all you have to do is just lift this arm up and it goes right back down. Once again, an optional add-on. I'm gonna keep this up so we can look underneath some more. Right here, you have your grease drain in the center. He's actually moving this to where most smokers have it, over here or over there, somewhere over in this area. Like I said, this was one of the original smokers, so he put it there. You have an amazing wood rack. That comes standard with all your smokers. But let's talk about the wheels in this amazing cart design. Now you have this axle down here, this turns, and you have this handle. Now something to note here, you'll notice this handle is a magnet. That's actually been done away with. He's using a hook now so it doesn't fall. Once again, it was one of the original smokers, so that's what he did originally. But this will turn just like this, and it's pretty goddamn easy to move for a 1,200 pound smoker. Now this is the wagon add-on. This is completely optional, but once again, I don't think I would buy this smoker without it. If I want to take this thing and move it forward or backward or turn it or whatever, my driveway's a little bit uneven, but I mean, this thing starts rolling. Now let me try to get this back into place. Like I said, my driveway sort of sucks. There we go, we put it right here. Stay right there, girl. Good job. Now, if you don't want this add-on, you can also get casters. And you might be thinking, caster wheels for this thing that weighs 1,200 pounds? He uses high-end caster wheels. These things are rated for like 600 pounds each. So there's no problem using casters on this thing. And the design he uses with the legs coming out are really, really neat. So you're not just gonna get a smoker on legs that you can't move. You're gonna get it with casters, those come standard. But this wagon add-on is badass. I love the fact that you can just move it anywhere you want. It might look a little weird with the massive tires, but trust me, I don't think I'd wanna move this thing, especially in my driveway with the casters. But if you have a flat driveway and you're not a complete train wreck like me and don't clean your driveway and don't get it worked on, especially if you're just putting it in your backyard somewhere and just have to move it a few feet here and there once in a while, the casters will work completely fine for you. Last but not least, let's get a close-up of this stack. So you have your smoke collector here with this amazing Patriot Pits logo. This comes standard. The stack itself is one solid piece. Now you might be asking, why doesn't it fold down like some other models? He had thought about that, but really these 4 bolts just come right off very easily, so you can just remove this stack if you don't have the space to store it in your garage. Mine is just right there. It actually clears by, I don't even know, like millimeters probably. And then you have this amazing design with the damper handles right here. Just opens right up, and a close-up of that, I mean, that is really flush right to the edge. Now, top to bottom, this smoker is precisely 82 inches. That's literally the height of my garage, like I just said. I had to take some of the air out of the tires to get it out here today. So it fits right in, but this thing is easily removable if you need to remove it for whatever reason. So that's pretty much it. That's the ins and outs of this amazing barbecue machine. I really, really like this thing. My first impressions are this thing's gonna be amazing, if not the best backyard smoker on the market today. Once again, there's so many things that make this thing special. The 3/8 steel, the 1,200 pounds. I don't know of a smoker that's heavier than that. There's no other company that uses 3/8 steel all the way across. The fact that these are all handmade in Massachusetts by Jason himself, I think that's amazing. He's a master craftsman. I can't stress that enough. Really nice guy. He will work with you on whatever it is that you need for, oh, there's a bee. I hate bees. For your barbecue needs. So be sure to reach out to him and see if he can do whatever it is that you need him to do, because I'm sure he can. My next video that I'm actually going to be filming right now, after we get off here, is going to be a temperature test. We're going to light a fire. We're going to crank the temps up. We're going to see how easy it is to control the fire, to control a coal bed. We're going to do the biscuit test, see how even our temperatures are across the grate, see what the temperatures are up top on the removable shelf. We're going to do all that. I'm going to see if I can break this thing. I'm not going to do that though. Dan, if you're watching, I'm not going to ruin your baby here. But we're going to see what this thing can actually do. We'll crank out something, and then after that, I'm probably going to do a brisket, I would assume. That would be my first cook, my first real cook on here. But I don't want to do that until I do a practice burn. I've pushed that in my fire management video. I've pushed that in a ton of other videos. You got to do a practice burn when you first get a smoker. Oh, and speaking of practice burns, these do come pre-seasoned. So Jason does season them himself. Make sure they work, make sure they hold temps correctly. So when you get it, it is ready to use. So once again, check out the website, check out the Instagram page. You can see a bunch of different pictures of the things he makes. You're going to be blown away. And don't forget to use that code FATTIES if you order one of these things, or say Fatty sent you, or whatever you want to do. Just drop the Fatty in there somewhere. You'll get those 2 free gifts, that beautiful charcoal chimney and a very convenient, handy dandy firebox tool. So I hope you found value in today's video. If you did, please smash that like button, get this content out to more people. I'd love to see these smokers get out to more people and make this name as big as possible. Right up there with your Workhorse, your Franklin, your Fat Stack. I think he's got a special thing going on here, and I can see this being the next big thing in barbecue. Be sure to leave comments if you have any questions at all about this smoker. I will try my best to answer them. If I don't know the answer, I'll reach out to Jason and Dan, and they will sure as hell help me. Once again, right here, I'm gonna put the temperature test for this video. You're gonna wanna check that out if this is something you're interested in. And then over here, I'm gonna put a video specifically designed for your taste. You're gonna love it, so make sure you check that out. Right in the middle, subscribe if you love me so much and wanna see more of my beautiful average face. And until next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tubby.